Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials. Good morning, it's 10:30 on Sunday the 19th of December. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's another grey, misty morning this morning. A little bit later than usual today because I've had a few chores to do, and I'll have a few more to do later when I get back, so it will be a flying visit, but need to do a few little maintenance jobs, so let me get down into the cabin, get opened up, and we'll talk about what those might be. Well, as usual, first things first, just sorting the chickens out. They've got their corn to peck around at, so they're quite content. I'll be back shortly with some greenery. I'm just topping the water up there. They are messy, they really are. A couple of other bits and pieces. I'm going to pull Little Red Tractor out of the garage. It's a bit of a maintenance type day today. Quite a few bits and pieces. Fiddly things that you don't normally have a chance to do during the week. Diesel heater's on, so I'll get the cabin warmed up. I'm not putting the fire on now because the wood burning stove, because I'm going to clean the chimney out, so lots and lots of stuff to be doing. It's nice and toasty in here actually. I'll have to give the cabbages a quick water as well today. Lots of little fiddly jobs, and at some point we'll have a little chat. Well, that's the first job out the way. Get the Little Red Tractor fueled up, and I'll just leave it running now for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. It's not been run for a few weeks, and if you leave it, you never know, you might have a problem. There's a saying, if you don't use it, lose it. It's very true. So with that in mind, next little job. Well, Little Red Tractor's running. Just giving that a bit of time to warm up. Just check the petrol and the oil on the petrol generator. Check the gas bottles as well. I'm going to have to swap out one of these shortly, just to make sure that I've got a backup in supply all the time, just in case. So now we've got the generator checked, let's get it fired up. Fingers crossed. Well, all is well with that, so I'll just leave that running for 10 minutes or so. It's not often that I'll fire that up. I've not used it in anger for about a year. Long may that be the case. But you do have to keep on top of these things, just keep checking every now and again to make sure everything's working as it should, and doing any maintenance chores like fuel, lubricants. So while that is running, I'll go put the kettle on. Well, while everything's running outside and the kettle's boiling inside, I've just been checking on the solar. Just giving the panels outside on the roof a quick wipe down. 13.5 volts in the batteries, that's not bad to be fair. I do use power 24/7 because I've got this Wi-Fi for the CCTV running and one of the cameras running 24/7, so there is always a draw on power. I just had a quick run round, checked all the terminals on the various batteries on my little battery bank here, just making sure that everything's as it should be, and it is. So hopefully in the next 5 minutes we'll have a cup of coffee in my hand and we can have a chat. Well, everything's still running, kettle's boiling. Regular viewers will know that I had a portable solar panel feeding a battery box inside the polytunnel for my water pump in there. So I've just dismantled that. I'm going to pop that back inside the cabin, give that a clean down. There's a bit of oil and grease required on the hinges with this having been sat outside for best part of 8-9 months in the weather. Similar thing with the battery box. I'll just grease out these ports and the terminals and just generally give it a bit of a winterization, because it's going to go into storage now until next year. So I'll get that inside. Fingers are freezing because it's cold out here, but I'll soon have a cup of coffee in my hand. This might seem like a bit of a non-job, but it is important. Every few months I just run around and oil the various locks on all of the doors and cabinets that I've got. It is important this time of year, winter time especially, because you're going to get freezing, and if they're well oiled, it just helps stop them freezing. So I've just been busy. I'm amazed how many padlocks I've got kicking around. There's over 12. So a good job done. Well, it's the weekend and it's Sunday, so the weekend is almost finished. Oh, another cold day today, really foggy again. Not the ideal weather for doing these kind of chores, but they've got to be done. I wasn't going to do a video today. I was just going to pop down for a few hours and get these few jobs out of the way, and I thought, do you know what? It's an important topic. Don't neglect your preps. And it doesn't matter what those preps might be. It's all well and good storing loads of stuff away just in case we have a crisis. If the crisis arrives and you open up your cupboard or your room or your storage area, only to find that your preps are no longer usable. That could be food that you didn't rotate out. Always keep an eye out. Make sure you're shuffling those cans around. Boring job, but it's got to be done. It's no good just leaving everything on the shelf and you find that when you start to use your canned goods, you've not taken them from the back, you've taken them from the front. So the ones at the back of the pile are now 4, 5, 10 years out of date. In some cases it'll be okay, but in other cases it won't be. So it is worth mentioning this subject. Don't neglect your preps. Every so often just have a check of everything that you've got and make sure that it's in good working order. Give it a test run. You'll know from previous videos, I routinely pull out the little red tractor, give it a once over, check the fuel, check the oil, any lubrication that's needed. There is no water on that tractor, it's air cooled, so thankfully that's one thing I don't need to worry about, particularly in winter time. I don't need to worry that it's going to freeze and bust. I have fallen foul of that, I have to confess. I always tell you the good and the bad, I don't just BS. Last winter I had a major crisis here in the cabin. Regular viewers will know I've got a gas water heater. I neglected that. I didn't drain it down. Because I'm not here using it every day, it sits for prolonged periods. It could be as much as a week. If the weather's really bad and I can't get down, it could be 2 weeks. And the water in the heater froze. I didn't drain it down, and that bust the veins inside the heater. So this isn't for nothing. Even things like, you'll know you can't see it on here, but behind the camera on the little kitchen type worktop where the gas cooker hob is and the sink, I've got one of these Berkey water filters. If I was at home, I wouldn't need to worry about that, but here at the cabin I do, because if we have a really bad winter and regular temperatures dropping into sub-zero, I have to be careful that the water in that doesn't freeze, because if it does, it'll break the ceramic candles and then the whole thing will be useless. So wintertime, I have to be careful on what water is in that top part of the filtration unit. You'll know we're going off topic a little bit, but the bottom container is a tank for collecting water. The top is a tank where you fill it up with water and it drains through the filters and eventually it will empty. So right now that top one is empty, just in case, as we have had, we have an overnight freeze. I don't want to risk breaking those candles. My nose is running because it's cold. I've had the diesel heater running this morning. So yeah, every couple of months or so, sometimes more, things like the tractor, I'll just run around, check that they work as they should work. Any fuel or lubricants that need topping up, I'll take care of those. I check that I've got wood for the wood burning stove. I check that I've got gas in the gas bottles. If one is running low, I'll swap it out straight away. I've got a spare one at home where I've got a portable gas fire just in case. So as the one here runs low, I'll bring the full one from home and take the almost empty one back home. I'll run it empty through the gas heater and then I'll go and exchange it for a full one. So just keep on top of that. So today it's been a bit of a mixed match. I've been running around doing these little jobs, things daft as it might sound, like oiling locks. I've got more than 12 for sure locks scattered around the various doors, gates and storage units here on the land. So there's the entrance gate, there's 4 on the chicken coop, storage outside, tractor garage outside, there's 3 more on the cabin door here, there's another one on the internal cabin door, there's there's 4 on the work unit. There's a lot of locks. And not so much the inside ones, but the outside ones that are exposed to the weather. It doesn't take long for them to start rusting up. So I religiously keep on top of oiling those. And in winter time, I have fallen foul where we've had that hard frost and the locks are frozen. If they're regularly oiled, the chances are they won't freeze. If you're not regularly oiling them and that overnight moisture gets inside and then it freezes, it's happened to me at the gate. I've stood there with a lighter trying to warm the lock and unfreeze it. I've tried using de-icer from the car. Sub-zero temperatures at ridiculous o'clock in the morning in the dark, you don't really want to be doing that, so it's worth keeping on top of it. So lots of different things there, food for thought. The solar system, every so often I'll just clean the panels off, have a quick check of the battery terminals, maybe put a little bit of, I don't know if it's called this all over the world, WD-40. It's a lubricating and damp proofing kind of oil in a spray bottle, just to make sure that everything works as it should when I need it to. So that's what I've been doing today. Lots of little odd chores, and I thought I'd just mention it because it's a subject that doesn't crop up really in prepper type videos. You might have seen me doing these little maintenance things from time to time in my videos, but it's not something that I regularly show. So today, apologies if it's a boring video for you, but it is an important one. Just don't neglect your preps. Don't buy something bang it in the cupboard and think, tick, that's me sorted when the apocalypse comes, only to find that it's been sat in there for years, and when the time comes that you really, really need it, it doesn't work. Torches and radios, things that have batteries in them. We've all done it. I've done it. You leave them in a drawer or in a cupboard somewhere, and then you're having to tidy out one day, or God forbid the apocalypse does come and you need it, and you pick it up to use it, flick the switch, nothing happens. You think, oh, the battery must be dead. You go inside, pull out the batteries to find that they're all corroded, and I don't know what, the acid has all leaked out. It's ruined the actual appliance, the torch, the radio. Everybody's done it. You know you have. Don't. Learn from that mistake and make a point. If you're putting torches away, putting radios away for storage long term, take the batteries out and store them separately. You can always have one around the house that you're going to be using all the time, but don't put your prep items into storage if they contain batteries without removing the batteries first. So I've got a couple more little jobs to do. Chickens need their greenery. I've got the portable solar panel that I brought in from the polytunnel. That needs a good clean down. I noticed inside the framework the ants have been busy building a nest. I don't know what the attraction was, but they transferred a whole heap of soil. There's like a little inner runner within the frame of the panel, and they actually started creating a little nest in there. So I got most of it outside, which is why I've got loads of crap under my fingernails. But that needs a good wipe down, a good oiling, and then that can just go into storage until such time as I need to use it. And the same with the battery box. So that's one mucky job that needs doing. Another mucky job, the chimney for the wood burning stove. It's amazing. I didn't realise until I got this just how quick the chimney blocks up with soot, tar, residue from the actual burning of the wood. Didn't realise how bad it got. I guess that's because nowadays we don't have, or most people don't have, solid fuel stoves or heaters in the homes. Back in the day when I was a kid, everybody had coal or coke or wood fires in the houses. That's how you heated your hot water and heated your room. We didn't have gas back in those days. Everything was either electric or solid fuel. So it's easy to forget these things, and until I got the wood burning stove I just didn't realise. So every so often I've got to do that, clean out the chimney, and of course make sure I've got supplies of wood and firelighters for the stove. So that's it. That's the end of today's video. I will get on with those mucky jobs and get those out of the way. But have a little think about that. Don't neglect your preps. One other quick thing, I guess, while we're on the subject of preps, a couple of people have asked comments in different videos over the course of this year. So it's perhaps just mentioning a few things that you might want to think about getting if you haven't already got them. Christmas presents to yourself, if you like. How many of these things that I've mentioned today have you got? Do you have some kind of small scale solar system? In an ideal world, we'd all have a full solar for the entire house and run everything in the house off solar, and then you are completely independent for cooking, heating, lighting and everything else. But unfortunately not all of us can afford that luxury, because that is expensive. But things like a small scale folding panel, 100 watt, 200 watt, it's enough to run lights, to charge battery type appliances, or even with an inverter, It'll run a small fridge or freezer unit and just get you through that power cut period. Have you got a wood burning stove? This is actually a portable one. If I wanted to, I could dismantle it. It goes in a bag, and I could take it with me wherever I was going. I won't, because it's deliberately intended to be permanent here. But food for thought. Do you have one? Do you have a means of cooking? Portable gas camping type stove. You can get very, very small ones that you have for backpacking or hiking, or you can get the caravan style one that I've got that takes the larger bottles of gas. You don't have to go with the big ones. A small one that's enough just to heat up a single meal or make a single cup of coffee to get you through that power outage. Have you got anything like that for emergency cooking? In terms of heating, I mentioned I've got a gas heater at home, one of these portable ones that run off a bottle. Do you have? They're not hugely expensive. If you don't want them in the house, put them in the garage or the shed until such time as you need them. That's where mine is. It's in the shed, back at home. The diesel heater that I've got here down in the cabin, they're not that expensive either. You can buy the full unit, so the diesel tank, the pump, the pipe work, the heater unit itself, and depending on which one you buy, it'll have its own little battery power supply to run it. You can buy them in a similar shape to that portable electric generator I've got, so you can pick it up and move it all in one. So everything is the complete unit. Mine is separate. You'll have seen the wall, the diesel tank on the wall. It's separate from the burner unit and the battery. But you can actually get them. They are portable. So what about one of those? Again, food for thought. You'd have to be careful if you're going to use it for your home, and you would have to vent out the exhaust fumes so that they're outside of the house. But it is food for thought. And finally, the electric generator. Have you got one? They come in all shapes and sizes. You could run your entire house. If you bought one of the bigger ones, or if you bought one of the smaller ones, mine's 2000 watts peak power output. So that's sufficient for me, if I needed to run a microwave. So I could do proper cooking, as well as run my electric appliances. And again, it's self-contained. It's all in one unit. Again though, if you're going to use that for your home, you would need to think about venting out the exhaust fumes. So a few different items there to think about. If you want to treat yourself to a Christmas present and add to your preps if you don't have them, and maybe you've not considered them before and you're just thinking about food storage, have a little think. It is that time of year. We are making plans for the new year. It is Christmas. People are buying gifts. So if you are a prepper or you know a prepper, some thought there as to what you might want to give if you don't already have. Anyway, my coffee's going cold. I'm also going cold, so I need to get that chimney cleaned out and give it a test fire. So I'll catch up with you again a little bit later. Well, here we go. Chickens like the greenery at the weekends. And as always, little red one's here. She knows she doesn't need to fight amongst the rest. She just sits here and waits for me. Watch my finger. They are funny birds. Bit nervous lately with this avian flu that's floating around. Awful lot of it kicking about the country, but thankfully not round here. Watch my fingers. Oh, the other one's coming, look. Is it going to be brave enough? Oh, there you go, look at that. That's a first. Did you see that? How the other red one was seeing her off? Don't be a bully, or I'll have to bully you. Come on, another little red one. Well, she's got something now, that's good. could sit here for ages, but I won't. I've got mucky jobs to be getting on with. Yes, I can see you. She's looking at the camera, not quite sure what it is. Come on, get yourself in there. Look at that, right by my thumb. Right, there you go, you two. Share it amongst yourself, play nicely. I'm going to get on with my jobs. It's held up remarkably well, to be fair, this panel. To say that it's been outside for months and months and months in all weathers, getting rained on, freezing. It was a remarkably good purchase, this. And to be fair, I don't think, in the big scheme of things, it was that expensive. I think I paid something like 150, 160 pounds for this. And obviously it's extremely transportable. It's only 100 watts, but 100 watts is sufficient to keep the battery topped up. I'm not having that much of a power draw on it. It's certainly worth considering if you don't actually already have one. It's quite amazing how much debris builds up in here. Let me just pull that camera off the tripod and you can get a better look. Don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe if I put a light on. Is that better? That's an awful lot of residue building up. So lots of pipes to do. I'll come back to you shortly once it's cleared out and I'm ready to reassemble. Well, I'm gradually working my way towards the top of the chimney, and I don't know if you can... Oh, I'm going to need lights again. Trying desperately not to get this all over the camera. Look at that. I don't know if you can see, but that's... You can't quite see through the chimney itself. It's absolutely rammed. Well, you can just about see through there, look. Gives you an idea of how blocked this is. Onward and upward. Ooh, it's got to be a tight fit. Job's a good one. Moment of truth. We'll see if it manages to not fill the cabin full of smoke from the chimney. It seems okay. Don't see any leaks anywhere. Let's take a little run outside. It's just a test fire really. I'm not going to be here that much longer. I just wanted to see if there's any sign of leaks anywhere on the joints. You probably can't see that smoke. Oh, you can. It's not drawing too badly today because there's a little bit of a wind. Yesterday was shocking, there was no wind at all. It was like cloud cover was about 10 feet above your head. Got to remember to take that home with me and refill that. And I can hear it, don't need to see it. Yeah, decent draw on that. And no sign of any leaks around the joints. So, job done. Coffee time, I think. Well, that's the fire done. Oh, cold fingers out there. It's nice to have the fire going. There's no sign of any leakage in the pipes. I've got my cup of coffee. Bit scruffy. Sometimes the gloves have got to come off. You just can't do everything with gloves on. A bit of a contest now between my cockerel and the neighbour's cockerel as to who can shout the loudest. It's nice this, just to relax. Sometimes, even though you are getting cold and wet, and some days you just don't feel like it at all, there is something satisfying about getting these little jobs ticked off your list. And even though that is a really scruffy, horrible, messy job, and you do get black, once it's done, there's a massive difference in the draw on the fire. Massive difference. So it is worth doing. The last thing you really want is to be sat here on a really cold, freezing winter's night and the fire not to be working properly. You don't want that really. And of course, the more blocked the chimney is, the more chance there is that the smoke is going to come into the cabin rather than outside through the chimney. So it is worth doing. Anyway, hope you're doing well wherever you are. You're staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. A bit thought-provoking today, hopefully. The topic of the cabin chat, not neglecting your preps. As I said before, it's something that people tend not to think about. They just kind of buy stuff and put it away and forget about it. Or it's easy to do that, shall we say. So yeah, maybe it's a good time of the year, got some holidays from work perhaps, to just have a little rummage around your preps. See what you've got, see what gaps there are that you need to fill. Make sure that the equipment that you've got and the food that you've got stored away is actually fit for purpose. Are you really rotating your food stores? Or have you forgot? Have you got torches and radios tucked away that have been in a cupboard for 6 months, 8 months, a year with the batteries still in them? I hope you haven't. But if you have, get them out now and get them checked. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Give us your tips and tricks, stuff that I've not mentioned that you should have. You know, things like generators, solar systems, water purification systems, alternative cooking and heating, alternative electric. Stuff that I've not mentioned. There's bound to be something. I don't mean every single little last detail, but the more essential stuff, the big stuff that you would need to support you It's no good having food if you can't cook it. It's no good having food if you're sat freezing to death from hypothermia because you've got no heating, or you're sat in the dark because you've got no lights. So the big things. There will be stuff that I've forgotten, but that's what this is for. Pop your suggestions in the comments section. As we're heading towards winter, as the Christmas holiday season, I will try and put out some videos. I'll particularly make a point of putting out a Christmas video. Thanks to people who commented on yesterday's video about live chat. Would they like to see a live chat? So people said yes. So at some point this week I will put a post on the channel on Facebook just to let you know when that live chat will be. I will try and time it so that it's a convenient time for people in the UK and our American cousins. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm going to finish this coffee in the heat of the fire, and then it'll be time for me to pack up and go. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Well, that's it for another day and another weekend. Everything's locked up. Good job I got that chimney out the way. Well, in fact, all of those outside jobs out the way because it's raining now. So I just timed that nicely as I head off home. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, hope you're staying safe and well and having a good weekend. Looking forward to your well-deserved break over the Christmas period. Hopefully we all don't get buggered about by our various governments over Christmas and we do get a chance to enjoy it, including with friends and family. I guess we'll find out shortly. I'm going to get myself in the car, get off home. I'm desperately going to need a shower. A few mucky jobs done there, and we'll be doing it all again, no doubt, over Christmas. Well, that's it for this video. Hopefully there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Anything that I forgot in my little list of things that you should be having in your preps. Big things, I mean, not little things. And are you keeping on top of your preps? Are you checking to make sure you're rotating your food out? Are you checking to make sure that the various bits of equipment you've got are fit for purpose, they're in good working order? Because you don't want to wait until there's a crisis and then find out that things aren't working the way that you expected them to. Let me know what you're doing in the comment section below. But for now, thanks for watching and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.